Hey, good morning, Hampton. Here's Minnie Mouse swinging on an Aka swing. Her own little Aka swing festival.
We're experiencing a culinary malfunction.
This is the Monticello Waste Treatment Station. The sewage comes in there, they pump it up over into the lagoon. And yeah, that's poop. And so we thought there'd be a good lesson in how your city waste gets processed, and so we're going to show you live. It's a little graphic for those who don't want to know, but hey, what goes in must come out, and so pay attention. This is my chief assistant, and we're going to get rid of the tanks. Yeah, that's the first time that we've gotten rid of our RV tanks that way. But I just appreciate the city of Monticello, the lady in the water department, telling me how to do that and where to go, because there weren't any RV parks that are offering a service or gas stations or anything or fairgrounds. And so it was a little bit unusual. In other words, to go to the pump head where they're bringing the sewage into the standing ponds where they cure it. But we got the bus up there and we emptied the tanks, and we appreciate that someone took the time to let us know where we could do that, because our tanks were full. You bet. So thank you to the city of Monticello, Arkansas. There'll be a bunch of happy campers tonight. Okay, I'm going to read an article that was sent to me from a friend in Thailand. It's by Giles Jai Korn, and it's about the Thai royalty, the succession to the king after he passes away. And the author who wrote the article had to flee Thailand because he wrote this article because of the lèse majesté laws, the draconian laws in Thailand limiting freedom of speech. This is the article. Many Thais, whether they are royalist, yellow shirts, or pro-democracy, red shirts, are waiting for King Pumipon to die. It may take years. Their feelings will be different, either positive or negative. This is because Pumipon has influenced Thai society for years. But the issue to discuss is whether this influence is created by others or based on his own power. Most Thais, both yellow and red, believe that Pumipon is the most powerful political actor. Many academics like Paul Hanley believe this too, but it is not the case. If it were the case that Pumipon was powerful like an absolute monarch, when he dies there will be a civil war between those who want to become the next king. The prince's soldiers will fight the soldiers of the crown prince or the queen. Prem's soldiers might place Prem on the throne. That is unlikely. There will be a power struggle and rivalries, but it will be a struggle among the elites, including Thaksin, to seek who can use the monarchy for their own ends. After the 2006, Thaksin lost this battle. Maybe he will return to the fight. Among the yellow shirts there will be also such rivalries. When Pumipon dies, my guess is that the army and the conservative elites will hold a gigantic and very expensive funeral for him. Resources which ought to go to building welfare and raise wages will be used for this. My guess is the funeral will be at least twice as long as the most recent organized for his sister, which lasted a whole year. Perhaps Pumipon's funeral will last 5 years. Extensions of other kings' activities could take the whole thing to 10 years. Pictures of the king will also increase even more. The reason for his huge funeral will not be in order to satisfy millions of Thais who will be heartbroken by Pumipon's death. Many will be celebrating in private. No, the reason for a huge funeral will be in order to shift the propaganda machine into even higher gear. The conservative elites will be desperately trying to promote and re-promote the ideology of the monarchy. Anyone who opposes the army or the authoritarian elites who are now in power, anyone who campaigns for democracy will be accused of lèse majesté and of trying to overthrow Pumipon. The fact that he is dead will be of little consequence. While all this is going on, the extremely unpopular and disrespected crown prince will be gradually shifted onto the throne. His equally hated mother, the queen, will be there too, but both will be under the larger-than-life picture of Pumipon. We will never be able to forget Pumipon and his so-called wonderful works. We will see the crown prince, but the words Pumipon will be blaring out from loudspeakers. If all this propaganda does not work, there will be the lèse majesté law, the contempt of court law, the computer law, and the internal security law. If that does not work, the army can always shoot pro-democracy demonstrators. When the generals stage coups or intervene in politics, they were not following the orders of Pumipon. Pumipon had always been shy, timid, and lacking in courage and character. Pumipon has no leadership qualities. He goes with the flow. When Thaksin was prime minister, he praised Thaksin. When the soldiers stage a coup, he praised them. His speeches use obscure language so that the elites can make their own interpretations, and Pumipon does not have to take any responsibility. He is happy that people crawl to him, and he is happy accumulating his vast wealth. The queen and the crown prince have a reputation for being tyrants. Maybe this is so. They are no more real power than Pumipon. So when the generals decide to do anything, they stage an elaborate play in order to make us think they are going to take to the palace to take orders. In fact, they're there to tell the king what they have already decided to do. Pumipon will nod agreement or be unavailable for an audience, depending on the advice he gets from the Privy Council. The advice is not based on decisions made by Prem, the Privy Council chairman. It is based on the consensus of those in power in the army and outside. After Pumipon's nod of agreement, the generals come out of the palace and announce to the public they have taken orders from the king. That way they can build legitimacy for their actions and fear to oppose them. When Pumipon dies, the powerful army will still be there. The tanks and guns will not have disappeared. The raw and repressive power of the conservative elites rests with the army, but the generals will panic because their sole source of legitimacy will have died. That is why they will extend the funeral as long as possible. When Pumipon dies, the generals will pretend to go to the palace and receive orders from the queen and the crown prince. Occasionally, when it's some minor and rather silly issue, they might be real orders, and the generals will follow them just to keep the royals happy. But on all important matters of policy, they will be merely informing the royals of their decisions. If the crown prince is hated and despised by the Thais, why should the army promote him to be the next king? If the Pumipon is all-powerful, why does he not appoint the princess as his heir to the throne? The answer is that Pumipon is too cowardly to decide anything. The army are reluctant to appoint the princess over the crown prince because their false claim that the monarchy is steeped in ancient tradition would collapse by such an appointment. Not only that, changing the succession because the prince was unsuitable would mean that the monarchy could always be changed and even be abolished. Do not think for 1 second that when Pumipon dies that Thailand will descend into chaos. It is and has been in chaos for the last 3 to 4 years despite Pumipon. It was in chaos and in the mid-1970s. Pumipon is not universally loved by all Thais. Most Thais are red shirts. Most red shirts tolerate the present king. A few love the king, but most are waiting for him to die. After Pumipon dies, most red shirts will not tolerate the crown prince or his mother, the queen. The queen lost popular support after she openly sided with the PAD. When Pumipon dies, the work of those who want a republic will not be easier. The king's death will provide opportunities and dangers. The royalist yellow shirts will be more desperate and dangerous, but the legitimacy of their actions can be attacked. Democracy does not fall from a branch like a ripe mango. We have to reach up and pick it, and at the same time reach up and pull down the conservative elites and their entire authoritarian system. Well, that's as much of the article as I have, and it's interesting to note that many people in Thailand don't like the Queen, and we accuse that the Queen of Thailand stole the land of the Aka people and she needs to give it back. That issue is up at the UN level, so they better get used to it and deal with it. And it is unlikely that the army will step out of power soon and that democracy will return to Thailand. It's going to take a lot of work by the Thai people. Thank you.